This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1241, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Nashville, it's artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
Oh, my goodness, you sound so sick.
Bruh,
I'll ask you in a second.
Chill out.
Just down the street there in Nashville, our managing editor downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
In LA, from Social Club Misfits, it's Marty.
What's up?
Jesse is out this week. So I was, little housekeeping. We announced a few days ago that this week we're starting to going to one show a week. If you've been a listener over the last few months, we've been wondering, is this the right move for us? We made the call. This is what we're doing, one show a week. And we're going to reinvest the time that we free up into video, social, more stuff. So it's not there will be less podcasts. There'll be more podcasts in different areas. You know what I mean? It's the right move for us. We're excited about it. I was excited that this week, the whole family would be together. Everybody's here. I text Jesse, hey, new recording day. He's like, oh, I'm out of town. So
of course,
Jesse's off doing a TV show this week. So
nice.
Okay. Everybody's not like, super producer,
He's doing Love is Blind season 3 UK. Yeah. We're really excited for that. Yeah, we're really excited for Love is Blind UK.
Wow.
Anyway, so sorry, listeners. Jesse will be with us on the next episode, but yeah, he's not here. So Derek, are you okay? Because I couldn't tell if you had a filter on your voice.
Okay. I'm not okay because I have an 11-year-old and they never want to be in your face until they're sick. Like my 11-year-old is like, I want to play video games or whatever. When he's sick, it's like, hey, Dad. And it's like, you just feel the spittles, when he says hello, fly into your face. And I just knew, I was like, oh yeah, that did it right there. That's a week of stuffy nose. So
that's a bummer.
Hey guys.
I don't get it. Like kids, like my kid gets sick at his mom's house. Like he missed school this week because he had a flu at her house. And then when I have him, he's fine. I don't know what that means.
That means that he might be hustling mama. I'm sick, Mom.
Hey.
I don't think
She's like, spend the whole week with me. Let's go to he's sick. We're going to Disney. He's sick.
That's what it sounds like.
I will be honest.
Six Flags.
I will be honest. She lives about 45 minutes from his school. And I'm thinking if he's like, oh, I don't know if I can go to school today. She's like, that's cool by me. Like I don't have to drive an hour and a half.
She's like, you want to go to the mall?
I can't believe you actually thought of that because that's literally what I think too. Because it's really weird. My kid's never sick at my house, but he's always sick.
Hey, look, man, I know teen boys. I'm in the thick of it, so it's like I watch them when they're around their mom, they're like puny, like, oh, Mom, I can't do anything. But then when I walk in the room, all of a sudden, when I call them on their crap, now they can figure it out. So it's like.
Did y'all do that when you were kids? Did you finesse your moms?
100%.
Okay, because I did too.
Sorry, Mom, listening to this.
Yeah, for sure. My mom.
My mom. I mean, I tried my hardest. I tried my hardest. My mom was like, "Get up." Like, you're fine. Like, get it. Like, I broke my arm at school in the 4th grade.
Walk it off.
and I went to the nurse's office in pain, crying, broke my arm on the gym, jungle gym outside. We had fried chicken for lunch and my fingers were greasy and I flew off the jungle gym, broke my arm. And they called my mom and it's like, hey, you need to take him to the hospital. And she goes, what would they do if his arm is broken? And they said they would probably, they'd schedule you to see an orthopedic doctor tomorrow. And she goes, then I'll pick him up after school. And I sat there with a broken arm all day. And then she felt bad later because it actually was broken, but she thought I was crying wolf like I always was, Yeah.
So, it was not adding up. My mom worked at the school in middle school. I was such a bad kid. They put me in a private school and my mom was a teacher. And I remember if I was sick, it didn't matter. There's no one to watch me at home. So I had to go sick no matter what. It's like one of those church situations where like you have to go to every service. So by the 3rd service, you're under like the pew and you're just like sleeping. Like you're just stuck. You can't leave.
I would give the acting performance of my life to convince my mom that I was sick. So I think that helped. But I also think kind of similar to your story, Cameron, in 1st grade, we did like I guess like a physical test or something, whatever, but we had to do an eye test. And I had been telling my mom for at least a year that I could not see things. And she we'd be at church and I would tell her I can't read this, the words on the screen.
Mom, can I go up for prayer? I can't see. I need my hands laid on me. Please, Mom. No, we don't believe in that. We're Baptists.
We'd be singing these songs and I'd be I can't sing along because I don't know the words, but also I can't read them. She just thought I couldn't read in general, which is not true. I could read.
Oh, she thought you were slow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so then we go to first grade and I can't read past the third line on the eye chart.
Oh, wow.
And I have to sit in the little chair and the nurse calls my mom and is this girl needs glasses. She cannot see anything. And I'd been telling my mom that for a year and she just kept kind of being you're fine. You're whatever, just kind of ignoring it.
Did your mom call you Dumb Emily? This is little Dumb Emily.
No, that was my dad. My mom was nice about it.
Whoa.
His dad did.
Whoa, Emily.
They just thought you were slow instead of you were blind.
Ice cream after this thing.
No, that's the thing. I my parents did not think I was slow. Well, at that time, they didn't think I was slow. My brother was really advanced for a kid. So I do think, and he was older. So I think there was a time where they were is Emily slow or is Matt just really smart? And unfortunately,
how long did it take you to get your glasses?
Oh, days with as soon as my mom, the nurse called my mom.
You in Target.
What grade
you went to the eye test?
I was in first grade. I was the first kid in my grade to get glasses.
Okay.
So I have been called Four Eyes before, so that was fun.
Yeah.
See, I luckily didn't need glasses till college, so I didn't have to do that because playing sports and stuff.
My parents didn't need glasses.
Same story.
Wait,
did you have them
you
when
have
you were
bad
young?
eyes? I didn't know that,
bro. It's contact lenses, and there's a reason why I never wear glasses.
I've never seen you in glasses, ever.
And the main reason why is, can you imagine being a first grader with glasses?
Yes, I can.
When Steve Urkel came out and being black.
Have you ever seen the Larry David episode where he puts glasses on Leon?
Oh yeah.
Well, essentially, the episode, it's people aren't racist against black people with glasses.
Yeah.
They're not intimidated. They don't feel afraid. So if you have glasses on, they're more likely to be nicer. That guy's cool. He's a good guy. I don't know if we'll include this, but
reminds me of the skit. I don't know if y'all ever seen the skit. Is the the best way black people can avoid racist, and it's Starbucks. It's holding
Starbucks glasses on.
God.
You have to have the thick shades on.
Yes, but
I trust this guy.
I don't wear frames really to this day, and it's literally because I got traumatized. Because at the rise of Urkel was just me wearing. And listen, y'all, my glasses were not just regular glasses. Them Jones was thick.
Oh,
and this was back when they didn't know how to shave them down to where they look. You know what I mean? It was bad. Them joints,
Coke bottle. Yeah,
that's how mine are really thick.
Wow.
I get mine shaved down. They still stick out over the frame.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I have really bad eyesight.
It's bad. It's bad.
Cohen, I passed my eyesight on to Cohen. When he was a little kid, he needed glasses. So he was 3. And we got him tested and he needed glasses. And then they take you out of the optometrist and you have to look at the kids' frames and they all look special. I mean, you know what I mean? I felt terrible for him. And I was we're not going to buy any here. And I took him down the street to Warby Parker, who didn't have kids' frames, but they have smaller frames and bigger frames.
Your son's 6'4", so it doesn't even matter what kind of frames you get him. He's so tall.
So he was 4 when we got him. He was just about to turn 5. So we got him some Warby Parkers and he was insecure about it, having to wear these glasses. But we got him these really cool, clear frame, kind of chunky. They're really cool. Anyway, he's insecure about him, wanted to wear them. I got the opportunity to go out, take him to LA a few days later. And so he and I go out to LA and we're friends with Mark Burnett and he got us to go see The Voice. This is early on with The Voice. Pharrell and Cohen and I watched it together every week. It was Gwen Stefani, Blake, Pharrell and Adam. And so he's come to the taping and we'll take you around. And I didn't know this, but they rolled out the red carpet for Cohen. Like kids under 18 aren't allowed in, right? And we go up before the taping, and Mark had somebody like take Cohen up to Pharrell's chair. Pharrell was his favorite. He was in awe of Pharrell. And so like we have these pictures, and then we're sitting in our seat, and Mark comes up and he goes, "Hey," and he ignores me fully, and he goes, "Hey," and he gets down, talks to Cohen, and he's like, "Do you want a little tour of the studio?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we go around, we're backstage, and he takes us to the green room, and he's like, "Let's just hang here for a minute." And the cast comes out, they're about to go tape, and Mark takes Cohen over to Pharrell and says, "Hey, I want you to meet one of my friends. This is Cohen." And Pharrell gets down on his knees, eye to eye with my son, who's insecure about his new glasses. And Pharrell is like the coolest guy in the world. And he goes, "Man, those are the coolest glasses I've ever seen."
Oh, man.
And you could see my kid's chest just puff up. And like Pharrell
really awesome
hugged him and was like telling him like how cool he was and what a great kid he was and all this stuff. And we watch the taping, and a couple hours later, Cohen and I are walking to the parking garage, hand in hand, walking back to the car. And he goes, "Dad, today was the best day of my life."
Yeah, dang, man. That's incredible.
And
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
that he was never insecure about his glasses after that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And he could probably tell everybody, Pharrell told
Pharrell
me
likes him.
that,
Call me Four Eyes. Call me Four Eyes. Pharrell.
To me, that's part of Cohen's vibe is the glasses. Like,
Right.
it's the vibe. Like,
That's amazing. I was talking to Cohen last night, and we're talking about Invincible.
He told me. He's like, so
we're like nerding out.
This isn't weird, but like Cohen's on Instagram, and like literally he tells me from time to time, like every account that like I like, every account that's like shown to me, Marty already liked it.
I don't know.
Like all the weird memes and stuff, Marty already liked it. And I'm like, man, he has a humor.
Beautiful. Even that weird guy account, all of them. Yeah.
He has your sense of humor, dude. And so anyway, like last night we were at dinner, and he told me, he's like, "Yeah, there's this random show on Netflix called Invincible that I'm into." And I looked, and Marty likes it. And I'm like, so he's like, I DM'd him.
Invincible ain't random. That joint is lit.
It's a great show, man. It's a really cool show. Yeah.
Yeah. See, if you liked anime and comics, you wouldn't be left out.
Yeah, there you go. Well, my kid likes it. So anyway, he said he slid into Marty's DMs. He said, "I didn't know you rolled like this," or something like that.
It's like I didn't respect your game. I didn't know.
That's
like,
what
I just didn't know.
All right. Well, we have a great show coming up. Later, we have Blessing Offor. He joins us. Amazing artist. Can't wait for that. Also, at the end of the show, we have Ask the Cast. But stay tuned. Right after this break, it's Relevant Buzz. Every day without knowing Jesus. If you could reach him faster, would you? If you could build reproducing churches right now, would you? If there were people with the language and cultural understanding to share the gospel, would you support them? If there were a way to reach the unreached that was guaranteed to work, would you make the investment? Right now, local national believers are already making disciples, but they lack the resources to plant more churches and train more church planners. This is a new wave of missions. This is how we reach the unreached as quickly and efficiently as possible, there and now. Find out more and get involved at thereandnow.org. All right, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, well, it is basketball season. And Derek, I noticed that your Detroit Pistons are doing pretty great.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? It feels good because it feels good because last year we were trash. And
and the year before.
And the year before.
Yeah.
And this year we're not trash. And I'm so thankful for
How many
that.
games have you watched this year, Derek, of the Detroit Pistons?
Not many. But part of that reason is because I live in Nashville. They don't really televise too many of those
NBA
games.
League Pass.
And I'm not paying for the League Pass.
I got some websites to send you. I'll send you some websites.
All right. Because I'm not paying for the League Pass. I love the NBA, but I don't love it enough to pay to see the Pistons. And the Pistons had to have some years of consistency for me to say I'm going to buy a League Pass to watch them. Because I'm definitely not going to watch League Pass to suffer.
You can buy a one-team League Pass too. like if you're out of market, like your home team.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
that was an aside.
See, it's funny hearing you talk about how you don't want to pay for a team even just to watch them lose. Because like I grew up in Dallas, and I mean the Dallas Cowboys fans constantly watching people lose. So I'm just used to that culture. But
yeah, but you can at least watch it on television because you're in the market. Like Nobody cares about the Pistons here.
But dude, Derek, like even local market for the Magic, I have to pay $20 a month to get their games because like just from the one app for Magic games. So it's like, wow. Yeah, it's terrible. Like nobody gets free ball anymore.
That's
nobody.
Anyways, the reason I bring them up is because I have been keeping up with Jaden Ivey, who is currently out for the season with a broken foot or broken fibia, I think. But
strong Christian.
I was going to say, with all his time off, he has been filling that time with some interviews where he's been talking a lot about Jesus. I know we've talked about this before, but it just really is refreshing to see athletes speak like so boldly about their faith. He did a recent interview with the Walk podcast, and I just want y'all to listen to this clip of him talking about the moment he gave his life to Christ.
Because I felt like I had to do so much for God, and every time I fell short, it was like, dang, I'm back to square one, that, you know, I'm just a filthy sinner. And like, how is God gonna forgive this? And I remember the day where I gave my life to Christ, and it was in Denver, Colorado. And I sat in the room and I was just like, Jesus, like I just give my life to you, I'm done. I knew he was always there. The scripture verse that comes to me is that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. I just gave, in that moment, I just was like, Lord, I can't do it anymore. But God's love, conviction, and his transforming love he's always there, regardless of what you do.
There you go. Jaden Ivey.
It's beautiful.
You know what's funny here in that clip is like on our Instagram recently we've been like posting a little more like, you know, stuff like this, people testimony, like Ninja said some stuff, and there's a Lakers player, you know, doing Bible studies on his IG. And so like we've been posting it, like we'll do a thing and then you swipe to the thing, the weekend, which we talked about on last week's show, you know, like this new song and like, what is this saying? And it is so funny seeing people debating in the comments. Well, if he says that he's serving God, what God is it? Or why didn't he say, you know, Jesus Christ is king, Jesus is king, but like he didn't say he's my Lord and Savior, and like nitpick terminology.
Yeah.
Hey, all y'all in the comments, nitpick that, because that man laid out the gospel right there. So yeah, there's no nitpicking Jaden Ivey, everybody.
Nitpicking Christians. I was thinking about this, y'all. And this is just, you know, because I know people listen. I'm going to share my heart with y'all right fast. It doesn't help. Like the nitpicking stuff, it's unhelpful. Like, so for the people that every time you see something, and I know a lot of times it's immaturity. A lot of times people are just like, man, like, I want people to know how much I love God, and I want to make sure that I, you know, focus. That doesn't help, y'all. Like, it does not help at all. All it does is make people think you're a jerk. And it makes less people want to know the God that you serve. Another thought I had was this. How can people read the same exact book and come to so many different conclusions? And I think that if your responses to everything you see are toxic, especially when it comes to the Bible, it's not the Bible that's compelling you to make toxic comments like, what God, and being pessimistic. It's because you're a pessimistic person reading the Bible. Work on your heart. So when you read the Bible, let the Bible speak life into you. You can find whatever you want in the Bible, but if you're looking for something negative, you're going to find it. You can find whatever you want in life, any Christian artist, any video that you see. Look for the positivity, because that negativity is not helpful, dude, especially as a believer.
You just reminded me, like literally a few days ago, we posted an interview that Emily did with Mark Batterson, pastor, author Mark Batterson, and the quote that jumped out to us, and we posted this on IG. This quote. He said, if you're looking for something to complain about, you'll always find it. Yes. If you're looking for something to be grateful for, you'll always find it. Always. It's exactly what you're saying, Derek, of like the thing you're looking for is what you're going to see.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's it, man.
It's a lot of, it's not even a cool, like, here's the thing. When has it ever been like a cool thing to do also? To like cut somebody down? Like, when has that ever been, when I got saved, I was 19 when I got saved. And I remember the culture was so shocking to me. It's a very shocking culture to go from, not a believer to this world. And then especially when you get around those religious people, how even more shocking it becomes, how more rules they add. And I remember this pastor telling me, he's like, you just became a Christian. You're on fire right now. Stay away from all those people. Keep the fire inside of you, because they're embarrassed and they don't understand how to properly have that fire anymore. And so they're going to cut you down because it makes them insecure. And so I remember like being excited, like, hey, we should do this for God. And they were like, nah, you can't, you can't. I hate those people. I hate to say I hate, but I hate when there's always that person's like, actually, I'm like, that's never been a cool thing. Don't do that, please. But that idea of when you're excited as a believer and you're on fire for God, there's always people who come around you who are willing to put out that fire. And I'm like, why? Why has that been a good thing? Why can't I just be excited about God?
I think a lot of times it's because people are I said this before, a lot of Christians are projecting who they want to be as opposed to who they actually are.
Whoa,
so they want to be this on fire for God person. They want to be their idea of what on fire for God is, but it's wrapped in so much negativity that they don't realize being on fire for God is just being a great human being that loves people and treats people really, really well.
The basics.
Like, it's like we say that we're not a works-based faith, but then people take works and they make it the foundation of the faith. You just say, hey, but it's not works. Listen, guys, like God, when he actually died on the cross, when Christ died on the cross for you, he didn't die on the cross for you because he thought you were going to be this amazing person. He died on the cross for you because of who he made you was amazing. Like, you don't have to add anything to it. You don't have to be smarter than people at the Bible. You don't have to pray more than people at the Bible. Like, just make sure that your prayer, your prayer time matters. Make sure that your Bible scripture matters. Make sure that it's applied in ways that you can be a better human. Like, I remember a scripture, and I'm get done preaching after this, but I remember a scripture where Jesus says they were getting mad at him because his disciples were picking grain on the Sabbath, and he said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. And it's the same thing with faith. Like, you were made, like, God gave us this faith to improve our lives, not for you to try to measure up to some crap that nobody can measure up to.
Yeah. Some people want also that acknowledgement. So what I try to do when people try to like outsmart me, or like I'm talking about God, like a lot of times whenever we do shows, there's always people who just want to, they just want acknowledgement, and they just want you to know that they know the word of God too. And I think it's like simple. They have like a heart for God, but they don't know how to show it. They haven't been matured to know when to show it and when not to show it. And so a lot of times I feel like, yeah, you have good intentions, but because you don't have maturity, and maturity in with Christ is the same with the maturity in life. Like, you have to know when not to speak. You also have to know, like, you also have to know when it's appropriate to say things and do things and measure the situation. So there's been many times where people, like, I've been having a conversation with Fern, we're backstage, social club, we're about to perform, and somebody will just interject themselves because they want to be heard, because they want to be acknowledged. And I see it as, okay, you just want me to know you're there and that you're a good person. We love you. But at the same time, it's just the wrong time. Why would you say that?
And I acknowledge you, but I'm going to move on from that.
Please do this.
Yeah, right.
All I have to say, you don't have to like the Pistons to like Jaden Ivey.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to say.
That's what we're trying to get to.
You didn't have to do that. You did not have
Or
to.
maybe Jaden Ivey is a reason to like the Pistons.
There we go.
There
Come
we
on.
go.
There we go. Next topic.
All right, moving right along. Okay, so there's this new study that suggests that a 72-hour phone detox can actually reshape your brain and will keep you from being addicted to your phone.
Just 3 days.
Just 3 days? Yeah. Which I was really surprised by, because I've there's all this study on addiction research that, it takes like 30 days for habits to have all this stuff. But I think there's something about phones that you really only need like a 3-day detox to.
So this is science. This isn't just like.
Researchers asked young adults to limit their phone use to only essentials. So like actual text or phone calls, no internet access, doom scrolling, anything like that.
So no apps connected to the internet, nothing like that. So literally it's just a phone and not a smartphone.
Yes, not a smartphone.
Got it.
Just after 3 days, MRI scans showed reduced activity in the brain's reward system when participants saw images of smartphones, meaning their brains were literally less addicted to their screens.
So the reward system thing when they see a smartphone, so it's like if I'm a drug addict and I see drugs, something happens in my brain. Now I crave the thing or alcohol or whatever I'm addicted to when I see it. my brain triggers, I want that. So you're saying after 3 days, they saw the phone and their brain did not flag, I want that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, it only took 72 hours. And again, I was surprised by the short amount of time. But then I was thinking about it in my own life. And y'all remember back in January when TikTok was gone for like about 3 days because it was like being sold, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of being sold.
Whatever the state of it is, who even knows these days.
And by the way, it still has to be sold or will shut down. They just got a 75-day reprieval, which is soon. It's a couple weeks from now. So
So we might be going through this again. But like I had been on TikTok for like 6 years. And so like I absolutely had an addiction, but then it was down for like 3 days. And ever since it's been back, I absolutely am on it way less. Like
me too.
I don't care to like, I'll get on it a few times a week, but I'm not doom scrolling as much as I was before. So
I'm there with you. Because I'll be honest with you, like I got so over it one night, even right before it got taken away. Mm-hmm. I was just like, it was ad, junk ad. Like I don't need, this is just, it's gross. And I went over to Reels just on a whim. And it was such a different
I love Reels.
experience.
I'm stuck on Reels all the time.
And so now I'm just on Reels. Like I went back to TikTok the other night because Emily, I remember you mentioned this to me that like you're never on TikTok anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, I wonder what's going on over there. And it was the same junk from like a month and a half ago that I was just like, I don't want this. So I'm with you.
I don't want that piece that you put on your car and twist around to hold your phone. I see that ad every single. My gosh,
I did not see that ad.
It's an ad where basically you can hold your phone on like this magnetic thing, and it's like every time I scroll every 2 videos. Yeah, I'm off TikTok completely. I love Reels. I think the comments are better on Reels. Mm-hmm. There's more heartfelt on Reels. There's more fun content.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I do think that it's interesting you said, Emily, because I feel like exactly what you said happened to me. It's like, why even also like as a creator, as an influencer or somebody, why would you want to post when there's like not a security in the fact of like TikTok, like there's no security that's even going to be here in a month. Is it worth it to keep posting? Like ask Trevino, what are we doing? I don't know.
Okay. So not to distract from Emily's item that the science says phone addiction can be broken in 72 hours of a detox. That's amazing. Maybe we should all do that this weekend. You know what I mean? Like let's just
take a long weekend.
Rewire our brains and come back fresh, that kind of thing. But what's crazy about TikTok is like, we're in the media business, social media and content. So like we're watching this closely. There are several bids from American buyers. Mr. Beast is among them. There's other investment companies that are trying to buy it. But right now, like the issue is ByteDance knows they have to sell or shut it down, but they're only selling the American one. We know that. They're not selling all of TikTok. So they would sell the American data, the American users, but they won't sell the algorithm. So the thing that made TikTok is the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right.
So whoever buys it is going to buy the app and the user accounts, and they're going to have to come up with their own algorithm and programming to make it work. So it won't be TikTok. It won't be the thing that made it special. It just won't.
So is the algorithm like, is it trademarked to them? Is that what
proprietary, and
proprietary, that's the word,
it's their secret sauce, and they're not going to sell it. They're not going to give it to somebody else. They're like, we'll take it with us, but you can buy the US user base. That's all they're selling. So whoever buys it for however many billions of dollars is going to have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Making an app experience. Like, what's the point? You're just buying users. That's all.
You bought nothing.
You bought nothing. You bought nothing. You bought a name.
You paid millions of dollars for apps.
Wow. Billions of dollars.
Wow.
Billions,
Yeah. So to me, no matter what happens, even if TikTok will exist, it will live on, but it will be different. So it's like, who knows if it's going to be something we all like. Remember MySpace? People move on from social media. It goes to the next thing. So like I would never be a buyer for TikTok right now. You know what I mean? Like that's not a good use of tens of billions of dollars in my mind. But whatever.
Who's still on MySpace these days? I actually
Does it still exist?
Yeah, it's a .com. Justin Timberlake bought it like 10 years ago.
I remember it. Everyone was so excited. Did nothing with it. Yeah.
Nothing with it. That joint has been there the whole time.
That's the only thing I've ever heard, that he bought it. Nothing else beyond that.
But
All I heard is that he bought it.
But it's the same thing where he had a vision of like, I'll make it a hub for music and music discovery, right? So his vision was what TikTok became, where people are discovering music and stuff and it goes viral. And so he, like, the homepage was like music news, and then you set up your profile of the artists you love. And again, this is like pre-Spotify, pre-TikTok. So there was a void for how do I make playlists? How do I discover new music and connect with other people who follow other people that I like, that kind of stuff. Artists were supposed to be creating pages to connect with their fans. And literally he bought it and put music news on the homepage and nothing else.
And that was it.
There was
nothing else after that.
It was terrible. He's like, y'all do it. Y'all fill it in. Y'all do it. He's like, no, nobody used it, man. So that's going to be TikTok, I think, in 2 months. But
I just decided I'm actually going to revamp my MySpace page. And that's the only social media I'm going to have.
Do the
you
old
would still go on and do it?
I don't know that the old accounts still work.
Yeah.
You're telling me my middle school memories are just gone?
Pictures of Emily doing like the swag era, like doing this
remember,
all the time?
I was emo in middle school. So
you were emo in middle school?
It was a lot of like side bangs in front of my glasses.
Black lipstick that your parents didn't approve of. You had to put it on at
black,
school.
but it was pretty dark. Yeah, there was a lot of like emo scenes pictures.
What
A day to
is
remember.
This? I remember
Are you looking at it now?
Yeah, I'm on MySpace. He did deals with like major label artists to like get them to go there and set up like band pages and stuff to like get the ball rolling, and then like they put some music news. But like look on the homepage, like there's blank
Featured
avatars.
Content.
The best of music and culture all in one place.
Yeah,
you join
it's
the
just pictures
millions
of faces.
That's all it is.
Literally pictures of faces. There was no captions. It says the best. Look at this, the best of music culture and all in one place. And there's two of the creators that they have working don't even have photos.
I don't get what this is.
Why is there a picture of Whoopi Goldberg with that? She's always got an ill fade though. She's always got the nicest fade.
But like they have a couple. Like there are people working here because they did update like a couple of music news articles.
They must pay They must pay royalties also. Like, look, they have a song "Still Dre" featured today. No cover art for Still
cover
Dre.
art. It's blank for Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
No cover art.
Pharrell Williams. No, like I'm.
It's like a broken website.
It's almost like a capsule in time. To be frank with you, like nothing here has changed. Like it's still 1998 right here.
So the weird thing is they have people working because they're updating some news stories, but nobody's looking at the website to go, oh, there's a bunch of blank images on the website.
Is that a JPEG? Like the pictures are so low quality.
This is so bad.
So what, did they turn it into is it supposed to be more of a magazine now as opposed to like a social network? Maybe that's what it is.
No, you're supposed to follow bands here and connect with other music fans here, but it's not because like, look, if you go to like the people page, it says sign in with Facebook. You're supposed to sign in with your Facebook account.
I like this one. Everybody, the subject line is everyone loves a list. That's what it said. Look at that.
So true.
Everyone loves a list. You just click on that little bar.
Great.
Wow.
This is sad. Come on, Justin Timberlake. Sell relevant
graveyard.
MySpace. I'll bring it back. Let's make MySpace great again. You know,
2012 guy was put in a capsule and sent to space. This is what they would be looking at right now, right? Like, look at the photos. This is a good time. Great time.
Anyway, what was your item? Oh, phone addiction. Got it.
Moving on to the very last thing is actually sort of an update on Christopher Nolan's next movie.
We're all Christopher Nolan fans, right? Like,
yeah,
the Odyssey.
Yeah. So he's working on the Odyssey, which we're very excited about. Obviously, we know the plot. Book's been out for a couple thousand years.
Don't spoil it.
Okay, wait. For those of us who know of it, we studied it in school and don't remember it. Is the Odyssey the one that "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then sirens and that journey
the sirens,
and the temptations and the morality play kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's about Odysseus trying to make his way back home. Faces a lot of trials, tribulations, temptations, etc.
Perfect for 2026. Everybody's so into deep Greek mythology in 2026. Yeah.
He's just trying to go home. Trying to go to Ithaca. That's it. Just trying to go home.
Just trying to go home.
We do know some more details about the movie, which started filming last month. Leading the ensemble is Matt Damon, who will be playing Odysseus.
He likes Matt. He likes working with Matt Damon.
Yeah, this is their
they're a
third
great
movie
combo.
together. They did Interstellar and Oppenheimer together. So I feel like that's going to be a good.
Great combo.
God damn it.
Who did the one where like, am I dreaming or is not a dream? Like
Oh, Inception.
Inception. Who
Yeah.
did that?
Christopher Nolan.
It's Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan.
But Matt Damon wasn't in it.
No, it was
Leonardo.
Yeah,
Leonardo.
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, in addition to Matt Damon, there's a really good like A-list cast that is going to be on the movie. So we've got Tom Holland, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, and Lupita Nyong'o. So
Goodness
this
gracious.
is yeah,
that's the gas right there. Boy.
yeah, pretty much everyone.
But if you get the call, Christopher Nolan's doing a huge epic. Do you want to roll? Yes.
I'm in there.
Who
Yeah.
wouldn't
Well,
say yes?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because one person actually did say no, and that's Robert Downey Jr. He recently shared that he said no so that he could play Doctor Doom in Marvel.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate you. We really appreciate you.
Okay, but
Marvel fan nerds appreciate you because we need this. Really
He just
bad.
did that for the check because, like, this is going to go down in cinematic history. Probably
Yes.
nobody's going to remember some Marvel movie. I don't know.
I don't know. You never know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I
Remember
don't
Barbie
know.
Oppenheimer?
A lot of us are comic book fans that
Yes.
yeah.
I've
I
watched
think,
Barbie multiple times and I haven't seen Oppenheimer twice.
yeah, I was gonna say I think if you look at the numbers on this on the Marvel, even the bad movies are they're still much more relevant than some
We're
of
still
the
watching Eternals.
Not the
Just
recent
kidding.
one.
Wait,
Not the recent
I
Marvel
do like
movies.
the
They've all
Eternals.
bombed. But
I just saw
they're
the
rough.
Captain America. It was unwatchable.
unwatchable.
was-
That's what I'm
Should have been
saying.
a TV show.
This
Really.
is
It
what
would've
I'm
been a
saying.
great
This is
TV
what
should
show.
have not been made.
This is what I'm saying
Yeah.
about Marvel is like there was an era where I agree with you, Derek. And now we're in an era where everybody's over it. And then, so that's why it's an odd move for me for Robert, where it's like, maybe you just shuffle the schedule and do both, man. Like,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you what, this next era is gonna be game changing because when you think about the first era of Marvel, it was all B and C-list characters. This next era is all of the A-listers.
I know.
It's
I'm worrying
fantastic.
for that. Right
It's
now
Fantastic
we're in a
Four,
C-list
X-Men,
characters.
Yeah, like
Right now,
Captain
no one
America
cares,
was
yeah.
he was never really an A-list guy when they started making films. It was all X-Men, it was all Spider-Man, it was all of that. But Marvel sold their rights off early on to their main characters because they were trying to keep the brand alive. Well, then the brand blew up with film. So then now they had to go back and go get all their A and B list characters and bring them back into the fold. So what's happening right now, the reason why you're in a transition period, I would call this period of Marvel, this is the period when you're growing a beard and it's patchy. Like
No, I don't care about any of the characters in the last 5 years. Like, I don't care about Miss Marvel, who I don't care about her. I don't care about the new Captain America. They also don't feel like celebrities in my mind. Like, when I see it, I'm not like, oh, it's the celebrity cast. It's just like, oh, you're just
Which is
dressing up
funny
in a
because
suit.
Harrison Ford was the villain in the new Captain America movie.
Well, he's not even the villain. But
another thing that happened too is you got to think we had the writer's strike, but then also Disney, once Avengers Endgame did what it did, they went full-blooded capitalism.
Yeah.
And the fans said, we don't want it.
they did the same thing with Star Wars. They oversaturated
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Full-blooded capitalism. Like, it's like, guys, this is not going to... And Disney pretty much made Star Wars take a couple steps back, Marvel take a couple steps back.
Yeah.
They hurt themselves by being too greedy. People want more stories, man.
Same thing with James Bond that's about to come out. Did you hear what happened with that? Like, the lady didn't want to sell it. Her family owned it. So Amazon was like, how much money do you want? And so they bought it out completely, James Bond, so that they could do whatever they wanted to do with it, because she was like, I'll only do it if you respect the story. Which is what we want, Derek.
So
I respect the story.
Amazon was trying to produce the next few movies, trying to get a deal with the producers, the long-term producers. And then Amazon was pitching them movie and franchise ideas and to expand the universe of James Bond, kind of develop an MCU of spies, right?
I want the old guys to come back. Yeah.
And the lady who is the lead producer said in a meeting later that Jeff Bezos was an idiot. And word got back to Jeff Bezos that she said that. And Jeff said to his team, I don't care how much it costs. Get her out of here. And then so they ended up paying an extra $1 billion to get
she owned the rights too.
full
She owned
autonomy, that they kicked out all the producers and they have no say anymore. They had to pay an extra $1 billion for that right. But Jeff Bezos has FU money and he did. He's just like, oh, you're gonna call me an idiot?
They're about to ruin that now too.
That's what I'm saying. That's the
Agreed.
At the end of the day, like you're ruining stories that have way more earning potential over time if you just tell good stories. And number two, it's like you're taking the heart out of the stories. Like I knew Marvel was going to be in trouble when I started seeing people like Scott Derrickson not being able to make another movie. Scott Derrickson, his Doctor Strange, I love it.
Yeah, it's
like,
great.
Only ironically, the only people that really stayed was Ryan Coogler, who they were like, yo, we can't let nobody other than him touch this black stuff because we don't know what's going on here. But they felt like everybody else was replaceable. And it's like, now they got the Russo brothers back. And it's like, but Disney knew, one thing they knew, they was like, look, this too black for us with Ryan Coogler. So you have job security. Like, it's just...
Let's hire M. Night Shyamalan.
Everybody else... We going for the big names.
I just read, I don't know, I didn't watch it, but like the Russo brothers just did a Marvel movie. Chris Pratt's in it and stuff. They've been doing media about it. And
That's not a Marvel movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. But it got 25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a Netflix movie. It's a Netflix movie with the girl from
Millie Bobby
Walking
Brown.
Dead, whatever her name is. Yeah. Stranger Things. But yeah, I heard that it's one of the worst movies that I have to see it now. I hate to do that, but they were like, it's so bad, like unwatchable. I love when they say like, there's no heart. You ripped out the heart out of the character. Like I love stuff like that because I gotta see it now. I have to see it.
You love the anti-marketing.
They
this
ripped
is
the
so
heart.
bad.
Like, it's so commercial. They were like, every scene of this movie is like a TikTok. Like it's made like in increments of TikTok, so it's so easy to market, but there's no tangible, like there's no consistent like storyline that just bleeds through the entire movie. It's like just a bunch of tricks. It's like a bunch of weird stuff. So I gotta see it.
Marty, what's your Letterboxd account? Because I need to go see if you're giving 5-star reviews to like the worst movies ever made.
I need to start one, and I'm gonna start being very. I'm not using ChatGPT. I have a lot to say.
Wait.
Good.
So what is Letterboxd? Is that like Discogs for vinyl collections? Like movies you watch, you rate them and stuff?
I don't know the words you're saying. Yes. Yeah. It's
No, you don't buy anything. You review, and a lot of famous people have reviews up there because it's like a real film.
Famous people and
cinephile, they call it. Like, you have to be really into it. But you'll find like you'll find like someone famous being like, I didn't understand this movie. Or you'll see the guy who directed the movie Coppola, who just directed that one big movie,
Megalopolis.
Yeah, and he reviewed it and he's like, this movie's incredible, and it's like his movie, like it's one of those things. Like real people are doing it, so they're catching on, and old celebrities. It's really funny though.
Yeah.
And guess who got a trailer? Guess who Letterboxd just did a trailer for the new Marvel movie, The Thunderbolts.
Oh wow.
Yes, I did see that.
They made it look like an indie film.
Yeah.
Like Marvel has figured out that people are tired of, they don't want the craziness. They want to get back to actual stories. That's what made the early
James
Marvel,
Gunn, right?
Yeah, that's what made this stuff look great. That's why people want to watch it, is because if you didn't, like, if you were like, yo, I don't know anything about these characters, this story is so compelling that it's gonna work. I watched a video from, shout out to my people at Screen Crush. But so what I found out was, at one point in time, before, when Bob Iger left, the guy that took over said, listen, put as much of this Marvel content out as you can put out. As opposed to taking 2 years to do The Winter Soldier, now you're doing a Marvel movie and you're promoting it in the middle of shooting. So what was happening was they were rushing all the projects out to get more content out. But now you lost the thing that Marvel fans, or just movie fans, like, even if you didn't care about Marvel, the fact that at the end of the movie you knew that it was going to lead you to another movie, and there was this interwoven web of like films. Now it's just like, here, throw these dumb movies out. Man, people don't realize, like, the OGs, people like me, they call me Unc. The young kids call me Unc. But We're the comic book fans.
You guys also have the money. The generation that has the money that will buy, like, you buy the real figures, you know, like our money is different. Yeah.
Stuff. Like, we care about this. We care about these.
I have a life-size Joker in my garage.
Yeah.
I don't.
A what? A life-size what?
Joker. No, it's just I was laughing because there's this podcaster who gave away a Batman and Joker to Tony Robbins, and it's been going viral. People making fun of him.
That's a lot.
That's funny. All right. Well, that'll do it for Relevant Buzz. Make sure to check out those stories and more over at relevantmagazine.com. Thanks, Emily. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Blessing Offor joins us. This episode of the Relevant Podcast is brought to you by the Every Woman's Prayer Journal from Tyndale House Publishers. Living a life of extraordinary purpose starts with extraordinary prayer. The Every Woman's Prayer Journal is designed to add depth and intentionality to your prayer and Bible study, guiding you through scripture-inspired journaling sessions of praise, confession, thanksgiving, and requests. With 100 prayer sessions rooted in God's Word, it's the perfect companion to the Every Woman's Bible. Order your copy of the Every Woman's Prayer Journal today. It releases March 18th, and right now, you can save 25% by ordering your copy at Tyndale.com. Well, today's podcast is brought to you by 10 by 10. Mentoring the next generation matters, but it can feel overwhelming. That's why 10 by 10 created Next Gen Simple Mentoring, a free turnkey resource for adults who care about young people's faith. It helps you build on relationships you already have. Teens need mentors need training, and you need Next Gen Simple Mentoring. Get your free toolkit at simplementoring.org today. It's good for young people, good for adults, and good for communities. Well, our guest today is Blessing Offor. You might know him from The Voice or from his hit songs like Brighter Days and Believe. But beyond the music, Blessing has a mission. He wants to bring light, joy, and optimism into the world. His new music is about being bold in his faith while still connecting with a mass audience, whether they share his beliefs or not. He also shares with us how he keeps his positive outlook on life through each and every season. Here's our conversation with Blessing Offor.
Sometimes I need somebody to remind me what I'm made of. When I'm breaking down.
Well, I'm really excited to chat with you today because we spoke a few years ago, but things have really blown up for you since then. What has been the most exciting thing that stands out to you from the last few years?
The most exciting part for me, I think, has been getting to watch the things I kind of dreamt of and wanted and practiced for start coming to fruition, and watching them move in ways that I couldn't have imagined, and reading notes and messages from people about how my little music has kind of come into their lives and impacted it. And it's honestly just like super humbling. So that's been really amazing.
Are there any fan interactions in particular that have stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just, this song came into our lives when we were going through a lot. Honestly, the gist of it is essentially, which I love, is that something along the lines of thank you for saying what people don't say, or thank you for touching subject matter that, for some reason people don't want to grapple with, you know what I mean? So it's been really encouraging because I love that stuff. I love making music that is real and authentic and uncomfortable and not in the box. That's my heart. And so the more I hear that there are people out there that need that, the happier I am. And the more that I feel like I'm square where I need to be, so that's really it.
When the world gets cold and it's all too much, sometimes I need somebody.
So when you write a song, do you feel like you're writing it for yourself, or are you writing it for other people to hear and be encouraged by?
I think when I write a song, I always write from the space of what could I use hearing? What do I need to hear? What do I need to, like, what's honest in this moment? What's genuine? What's good? What's uncomfortable? What's real? What's the third rail? You know what I mean? Like, what aren't you supposed to say that is real? And I always try to say it because kind of, the point of art is not to make us safe per se. right? It's to make us feel known. And sometimes being known is not a safe thing. So I always try to remember that first and foremost, I'm doing art. And art is a vulnerable thing that can sometimes be used to make us all uncomfortable in good ways, you know?
I know there's gonna be some brighter day. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some.
I think it's safe to say that your music has definitely connected with some people. I'm thinking about your song Brighter Days in particular, which was going viral on social media. It was featured on all these different shows. What was it like for you to see your song kind of everywhere?
That made me so incredibly happy because as a Christian, I don't want my music to only be comfortable in Christian spaces. I, in fact, feel the happiest and I feel most in my calling when my music is outside of Christian spaces, because like, you know, a little bit of light in a dark place is the most impactful thing there can ever be. You know what I mean? A little bit of salt in a bland meal is the point. You know what I mean? So when I make music that moves outside of traditional Christian spaces, I go, yes, you know, that's what I love.
That's interesting. So do you view yourself as a Christian artist then, or simply an artist who is Christian?
I consider myself an artist who has a faith, and that faith is Christianity, obviously. But I don't like, I try not to dabble too much in like the niche titles. Christian artist is such an interesting thing. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Like you're not like a Christian plumber. You know what I mean? Can you plumb or not? Right? Like, can you sing a song or not? Right? So, I've never, and not in a negative way. I've just never really embraced Christian artist, because I think that title in the traditional sense has always carried with it a lot of expectations that I don't want to put on myself or my music. You know what I mean? Like, and I always tell people I grew up in non-tradition, like places that aren't traditionally super churched. So my language isn't Christianese. I've not, like when I lived in Brooklyn, people weren't going to church every Sunday. They weren't, they weren't Christians. So why would they act like Christians? And so I was going to church on Sundays and then meeting my friends for brunch afterward. And they'd be like, why are you going to church? Like, you did not get points for it. And yet I loved it because I went to church because I needed it and wanted it. And it was the truth. It is the truth. You know what I mean? I didn't go to church because all my friends were there. You know what I mean? So I like when something costs you something. You don't get social points in Brooklyn for going to church. You know what I mean? And I don't want my music to get social points just because it's quote unquote Christian music. I want it to be good music first and foremost, because when it's good music, A, people will enjoy it, and B, it will get to people who otherwise wouldn't be listening to it, which I kind of think is the point.
Guide my way, oh, move me right, break the chains, set me free.
That kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about not playing it safe, not in like a dangerous way per se.
It's funny because I'm the safest human ever. Like, I'm not. People are like, you left to push the envelope. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I just like music, and I honestly didn't grow up with Christian music. Like, I went to church and I knew all the big songs, but like when my friends are like, oh, it's a small group, and I was like, I don't remember this. So that's, yeah, I'm like, yeah, cool. And I think that's what makes my music able to move to the places it can, because I just never had a concept of, oh, here are the words you say. Because I mean, every time I look at Jesus in the New Testament, he never said the things you're supposed to say. You know what I mean? So I don't know that safety is the point. I think effectiveness is the point.
It don't mean nothing, 'cause I know ain't nothing that you can't do. Oh, my faith keeps growing 'cause you keep on showing me there ain't nothing that you can't.
You sort of hinted at it, but how would you say your upbringing impacted your music?
So heavily. I was born in Nigeria, grew up in Connecticut, lived in New York, live in Nashville now. So most of the places I've spent my time have not been evangelical Christian places. You know what I mean? And so even if I tried to pretend to be down the middle CCM, it would be inauthentic. You know what I mean? And I think, as I say to my friends, that's not an accident. Like, God means for there to be different ways for us all to express the truth of it all, you know. So Blessing's music is going to get to so-and-so, and, you know, other artists' music won't, but it will get somewhere else. You know what I mean? That's literally the point. So I used to think that was a flaw in the plan, and then I quickly realized that that was actually a feature of the plan. So, you know, you just kind of embrace it.
That was Blessing Offor. Make sure to check out his new single, Lift Me Up, which drops today. Look at that. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Ask the Cast. This episode is brought to you by Josh Nadeau's new book, Room for Good Things to Run Wild: How Ordinary People Become Everyday Saints. Have you felt stuck in your faith? And no matter how many new things you try, you still end up with a dissatisfying Christian life? We invite you to rediscover beauty and wonder in the holy ordinary with the new book, Room for Good Things to Run Wild. Josh Nadeau is the artist behind Sword and Pencil, and through rich storytelling, liturgies, and artwork, you'll discover a way to move beyond trite platitudes to an embodied theology that transforms your whole life. Join Josh on a pilgrimage to rediscover the rich and wild world that God's created for you and the way He's created you to experience it. Start the journey today. Room for Good Things to Run Wild is now available in print, ebook, and audiobook formats wherever books are sold. All right, it's time for
Ask the cast anything you want, and we'll use our brains to answer.
We're doing part 2. We did this last week. We're doing it again. We had fun. You guys sent in a lot of questions. So we're doing Ask the Cast part 2, kind of like the Joker. We're going to sing all of our answers. The Joker part
And
2.
I'm out.
Didn't I get you to sing one time? Like some.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was so mad because me and Jesse were both supposed to sing, and you made me sing. And then Jesse just straight up was like, I'm not
Said
doing
nope.
that. And you said, okay.
We were
And I
doing
didn't
like
know
the
I
Relevant
could say
Podcast
no.
Olympics or something, like back when the Olympics,
wow.
and we had like different audio challenges and what was to sing.
And like my voice wasn't warmed up. So like I wasn't my best. And it was just a lot. Okay.
Oh, it was
You
great.
sound like Will Ferrell and Step Brothers. I think I have a cold. My voice isn't warmed up.
Yeah.
Sorry, the room, the acoustics.
Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
what it was.
All right, here we go. Mike Langston wrote in, Marty, this is just for Marty. Who's one celebrity you would love to get into a ridiculous Twitter feud with?
Man, who would I love to bully? Let me think.
Exactly.
I think that I would love. I think that it would destroy my life. I shouldn't say this because I feel like it could happen. Like an Elon Musk thing could happen. He'll respond.
He takes
he'll
the bait,
actually,
yeah.
He'll actually respond.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, there's a couple people that are that I love Twitter beef. So I probably would want to get into a beef with another rapper. But I'm not the guy who's gonna give you a diss track or like something like that. I'm gonna be the guy who's just gonna roast you, or I'll make a song with a beat and I'll be talking on it, just roasting you. Like, I hate your hat that you wore at the award show. It looks terrible. But anyway, I'd love to get in a beef with a little rapper. That'd be nice.
All right. Here we go. Marty and Derek, this one's for you. Sorry, Emily. Man, nobody cares about Emily. Ryan Caldwell said,
During Women's History Month.
wow. Hold on. Is there any specific
That's one way to
Emily's?
treat people.
There's nobody, none of y'all wrote in anything just for Emily. I am
All
disappointed
right,
in
and
the
that's
listeners.
my time, guys. See y'all.
She's got another splice that she's gonna do, guys.
Ryan Caldwell says, Emily, can you sing for us? No, I'm joking.
Oh.
No, Ryan Caldwell. Brian Caldwell said, Marty and Derek, this one's for you. If you had to join an existing boy band, past or present, which one would it be?
Oh, wow. Past or
I can't believe I wasn't asked this question.
Well,
You're not
this
a
is
boy.
a family question, but
Yeah, but I could be like the manager.
It's going to start and end with Crazy Town. I'm just kidding. No. Remember that band? I just saw the documentary about Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
And I got to say, man, I enjoyed it. And I think that they came out, they were the first boy band, so they got all the good stuff, all the stuff they didn't do, NSYNC did. So maybe Backstreet Boys jump in that.
Wait, did you, Derek, I want you to answer, but are you talking about the documentary about Lou Pearlman that was on Netflix? It was like three parts.
I didn't know that was out, and I'm going to watch it tonight because me and my wife were talking about
it. Came out like 6 months ago.
I'm going to watch that. No, we were watching they are doing their world tour again, and Brian's losing his voice, and they're arguing. Also, you know what? This is a side note. You know how none of them blew up right after they kind of just stopped? Mm-hmm. One of them should have became a Christian singer, honestly. One of them would have been like secure your next 50 years. Yeah. They still had good voices, but they missed out on that opportunity.
They did. Yeah, no, the Lou Pearlman documentary is crazy because
I'm watching that tonight.
I lived it. Like
Orlando, he was a billionaire, right?
The entire story happened when I was in high school in Orlando. I remember the headlines. I remember the office downtown, the FBI raid. Like it was just our local reality. It was so pervasive. When I would be like out on the weekends, like, 1 a.m., you're driving home, you got to stop for gas. There would be boy band members at the gas station. I mean, it was so pervasive around Orlando. I'd be in Urban Outfitters and there's a guy from LFO like right there. Yeah. It was just everywhere in that era.
That's actually how it is here. Side note, this is actually how it is with K-pop because the biggest K-pop label is a mile away from my house. It's in the Source. When you go drive by it, there's so many K-pop artists. There's hundreds, and they do the same thing in Orlando where they would do showcases at the mall, and they do that here. And they call it Little Seoul, whatever. But yeah, same thing over here. It's very serious, and they're beautiful. These people are like gorgeous. The guys, I'm like, this guy's like 6'3". I'm like, I've never seen it looks like a model, and he's singing, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, Derek, what boy band would you join, past or present?
I'm joining G Unit. Because
that's not a boy band.
Rap groups are boy bands with guns.
He's going to B2K.
Listen, if it's a group of boys in a band, we can let it happen.
Not joining
what's the boy band? What was the boy band? I mean, they didn't really have boy bands for like black artists because like you had like a Pretty Ricky who were so dirty and filthy.
You had 112.
Yeah, 112.
But like Boys to Men.
But they were like older. Like Jagged Edge, they were like older. Like they were like R&B sexy.
Cisco came out of Jagged Edge, right? I mean, like
he came out of Drew Hill.
I mean, that was a boy band. I mean, for sure.
These kids were like 14 and like 1996. Like,
yeah, that's true.
They were all like such little kids.
But like Boys to Men, I feel like that counts.
Yeah, but they always felt older, right? Like it was like older.
They feel older, and it's because black people be going through it. You mature a lot faster. Hey, look, I'm just gonna keep it real. By high school, in the average black person's life in the inner city, you've seen a lot more life than a lot of people. So it's like the content's gonna look a lot different.
Derek, the whole documentary of the Backstreet Boys, I was like, have you guys ever heard a black person sing? Because you guys, their voices are like not that great. I'll be honest with you. Like they're good harmony, but they're not like amazing. I'm like, have you ever heard like anybody sing that's not a white little 14-year-old boy from Orlando? Like,
yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's the reason.
Have you ever heard of Luther Vandross? Like his old age is killing you guys.
But the thing is, Lil Wayne was like 15 when he started.
Yeah. Like, but he also looked young, right? But he also like felt young. These kids were 14, same age as Lil Wayne. And then one of them was 21.
Shooting you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the difference.
And then he sang Prom Queen and kind of
Rachel Hughes, I guess because we were talking about like cartoons a couple weeks ago. Rachel Hughes says, if you could be any character from a 90s cartoon, who would you be and why?
90s cartoon. Go ahead, Emily. I need to.
Well, okay.
You weren't born in the 90s.
Yeah, she was 95. Oh, say 90s and 2000s. I mean, like your cartoons you loved when you were younger.
Well, I was going to say, like, my favorite
life in the 90s.
Okay, I was aware. Well, I couldn't see anything though because I didn't have glasses. But, I mean, honestly, my favorite cartoon growing up was around in the 90s. The Simpsons. I watched that with my family growing up.
Good
so
movie.
I always. Oh, Lisa,
Lisa?
for sure. My family,
Yeah.
like my dad is Homer, my mom is Marge, I'm Lisa, my brother
That's
is
funny.
Bart. Like that really is our family.
Santa's little helper, the little dog.
I really want my brother and I to get matching tattoos of Bart and Lisa where they're choking each other
That's
because
funny.
I just think that kind of represents our relationship.
There you go.
I love it.
Well, y'all-
For me, it's gonna be I'd be in the Boondocks for sure.
That's a great
Who?
show.
What
Yeah,
character?
I'd be in the Boondocks. I
Wait, was that
probably
the
would be.
90s?
I probably be Huey. Yeah,
Yeah, it was 90. Yeah, it was 90s.
Was late 2000, early 2000s.
Was
Okay.
it?
Was it? I don't know.
I'm gonna
Okay,
do-
yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna
it was
do
great. It was great.
But Boondocks is like one of the
2005.
too early. Yeah, it was too. It was too
2005.
early. It's still prophetic today. But I would do Arnold from Hey Arnold. I got the coolest
Oh,
house
yeah.
in the world, right? How cool is that
Oh,
room?
yeah.
Wait, would you want a football head?
Yeah, I don't mind if I get that room.
Yeah.
Like the skyline and it opens up. It's like the music sound system folds out. I think it's so cool.
All right, it's Mark Ellis asks, if you could have a theme song play every time you walked into a room, what would it be?
The John Cena theme song when he walks out wrestling, I would take that from me. Da, 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 wake up! Da, da, da.
Didn't Tyson walk out to one note? It was like,
Yeah,
dong.
yeah, like a D sharp.
And he
Oh
just,
no, that was that DMX intro he used to walk out to.
DMX did.
Was that DMX intro? No,
Yeah,
Tyson?
it
No.
was the intro off of his "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot" album.
Oh,
Because it's literally like it's like a bell, and it's very menacing.
Right.
it's very menacing.
And then just Mike
very
Tyson just comes walking slowly to beat you to oblivion.
Everyone's
that's
looking at him like he's got no music. He's got no robe on. He's just ready, coming to fight you.
no expression on his face, just about to.
It's just ready to
Done.
Black trunks,
beat your
red
face
gloves.
in. Yeah.
Emily, what about you?
I don't know. For some reason, the first thought I had was "Eye of the Tiger" by Katy Perry, but I don't actually want that to
Hold
be
on,
my
hold on.
song.
Eye of the
Eye of
Tiger.
the
Katy
Tiger.
Perry.
Like Katy Perry, that's the wrong Eye of the Tiger.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why was that the one that came
Get
to
the
my
original one. Like, why would you want the remake?
No, okay.
Fireworks?
Hers is actually really good. So I do want to put that out there. I don't know. My go-to, like, I think this isn't like the theme song necessarily, but someone asked me a song to represent my life, and I think I always used to say "Miss Independent" by Kelly Clarkson. Maybe I'll do that.
Miss Independent. There you go. So you're trying to not just go for vibes. You're going for message.
Yeah, I'm a lyrics person, so I
All
gotta
right,
have
gotcha.
something with lyrics.
My thought was "Passing Me By" the Far Side, but then I was like, that's not fun enough. So I'd go the Humpty Dance, like
Oh, I
that
love
bass line
that.
is walking in.
De La Soul, I know, with the one whistle. That'd be cool. Derek, what do you got?
Bum, bum, bum,
Okay. Not Like Us.
Boom, boom, boom. That's it. They
That's
don't
a good
like
one.
us. Right now, that would be
Sanford and Sons.
Is that the Andy Griffith show?
Hey, actually, you know what? I ain't gonna even lie. The Sanford and Son theme song is legendary.
Oh my God. It's like a pitch up.
Bro, Quincy Jones wrote the Sanford and Son theme song.
Yes,
It's
he
a
did.
legendary track.
Yes, he did.
So I'm not even gonna lie. I might want to switch to that.
All right, here we go. Last one. Ethan Collins, what's the most ridiculous fashion trend you ever tried and totally regret now? Did you all ever do crisscross? Did you ever go backwards when you were little kids?
I didn't go full Hovey on that. But what I did do is at one point,
Listen, if I've ever learned anything in life, you never go full Hovey.
you can't
Ever.
go full Hovey. No, you can't go full backwards pants and shirt. I think one of the most embarrassing, I don't know if it's embarrassing, but I think I had one of those families that we didn't always go shopping. So whatever trend I got stuck with, and I got stuck with Jinkos. Way past the time, and I remember I had these.
There was a
now
year.
They're cool.
There was a
now
year
they're
there.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now they're cool and they're hard. Like I went to a vintage store and they're selling them for like $300, like Jinkos. But at the time, I remember it was going to skinnier, and I had these really baggy jeans. I just looked like I just was not doing good. I wasn't doing good. I had jeans. I had a pair of Jinko shorts that like went down on my ankles, essentially, and like I had this like 2-inch like Fat Joe used to wear them, and I'd have it was like a whole thing, and it kept the days. My dad's like, dude, you got to toss these, like we got to move on. It's pretty bad.
Emily.
My first thought, so there was like a year in college where all of my close friends are like the granola hipsters, where they're wearing like flannel and chacos, and like all these things and stuff, which is a fine aesthetic. It's not really my aesthetic though. And so, but I remember wearing that. And I think that's probably the only thing I regret is because it's like I had a Choco tan line and I didn't actually like it. And it just was really annoying.
For me, it's going to be, and y'all are going to laugh, but back when I was in I think high school or middle school, I used to wear fake Versace silk shirts like Master P.
Oh, okay.
So I do.
We need some pictures.
I
need pics.
I have one somewhere. Hold on, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna send it to the group text.
Please do that. It'll be the cover of this week's episode.
It's regrettable. It's regrettable. It's back when I had hair. It's very regrettable. I apologize to Versace for buying Fosachi.
Like I need a picture because it's like, how obvious was it that it was fake?
It's I mean, it's fake because somebody from Columbia, Tennessee was wearing it. That's how you do it. It's fake.
We have a flea market kind of spot called Magic Mall, and that's where you buy your Fosachi. Like it's
Wait, Cameron, what was your
I mean, listen, I lived through the 80s. I was fourth grade. I had parachute pants. The 90s, I had like the rayon shirts. I mean, Z Cavaricis, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Did you ever have frosted tips for your hair?
Oh, no, that's a good question. No, that's a good boy band world. That probably happened a lot, and everyone had frosted tips. Yeah. People must have moved to Orlando to join boy bands, right?
Yeah. They all did. Like, they weren't from here. They moved here.
They all moved here because that was the hub. I mean, he had everybody.
Yeah. Darkchild moved here in that era and set up a big production studio and recorded everybody. So anyway, all right. Well, there's more where that came from. We may come back to Ask the Cast, but that'll do it for
Ask the Cast anything you want, and we'll use our brains to answer.
Well, many thanks to Blessing Offor for joining us today. Make sure to check out his brand new single releases today. It's called Lift Me Up. It's really great. And check out his other recent music. Okay, little housekeeping note before I wrap it up. Usually I say, go check this out, go check it out, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you're a longtime listener, but you aren't following us on Instagram, well, Instagram, I guess we also put on Facebook and X as well on Tuesday. But we announced a change to the show. We are now going back to the old ways. We are going to have a new episode every Friday. We're not doing 2 episodes a week anymore. We started doing 2 episodes a week during COVID. Our weekly show was kind of like getting really, really long and bloated. We had like 2 guests in each show, and we just split it just to spread it out, make it more digestible. Well, then both of those shows were an hour and 15 minutes, and it's just been a lot to stay on top of. And we heard from you that it's been too hard to stay on top of it all. You like the show, but once you start feeling like you're falling behind, it's hard to catch up. It's hard to stay connected. So we want to go back to how things were pre-COVID. A new show every Friday. What we're going to do with our extra time is invest it into more social media, interactive stuff about the episodes, more clips from the cast, from the interviews. Make sure to follow us on all the socials so you don't miss those. I think we posted one with Derek just a couple days ago on Instagram. But yeah, and then eventually we are working toward taking the show fully to YouTube. We're going to refresh a few things. We might have even next week, maybe a new theme song. We'll see. New era, freshen it up. So every Friday, not Tuesday and Friday, every Friday. And I'm not telling you the rest of it. I'm telling you the sure stuff. I have a bad habit of like saying stuff too early and then it's delayed or, whatever. So just know that we're not taking stuff away from you just to take stuff away from you. We have a purposefulness behind it. Just bear with us as we turn this corner. So new shows every Friday. I mentioned Instagram. Make sure you're following us. There is a lot happening over on Instagram. We've been having posts reaching like millions of people and like hundreds of thousands of likes and stuff like regularly. It's bizarre what's happening over there, but it's been a lot of fun. All the other socials are putting our content out. If you haven't been to relevantmagazine.com recently or don't come back regularly, you need to. The last 9 months or so, especially the last 6 months, we've shifted editorial strategy, shifted our contributors. We've been like really, really going into what is a new approach for 2025 and beyond. We've been publishing online since 2001. And we just decided like we need to kind of rethink the model a little bit. So the first thing we're doing is a refreshed editorial output. Like I said, like the content has been fantastic. I mean, click on anything and it's good. Think pieces are challenging, hilarious pieces, like a ton of interviews. It's been great. Go check it out. Really proud of the content we're producing. The team is also working on a new website, app, a bunch of other stuff that's going to be rolling out progressively. But right now, I mean, the content is awesome. Go check it out. You can sign up for our newsletter where we'll be sending out our best content each week. It's a great way to keep in touch if you're not like heavily on the socials and stuff like that. So go check it out, relevantmagazine.com. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We will see you next Friday. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Rap groups are boy bands with guns.
Relevant Podcast Network.